Cool, we're live. Alright, so the basis of this stream is I'm going to be doing a tier list and I'm going to be analysing what the game would look like if it was played perfectly. So I made a list of rules that are considered for the game to be played perfectly. So the first one is perfect aim. I think this one's a given. No matter where you want to hit, you could do it with 100% accuracy. Alright, next one. Perfect communication. So this is if one person on a team knows something, every person on the team knows it. And, that's like a given. Someone finds Sombra, everyone immediately knows Sombra's there. Next one, no human limits. So this is, we're ignoring reaction times, things like that. I'm pretty sure that if a Sombra decloaked on a Widow, the Widow would kill the Sombra before the Sombra landed a shot. I think that's how that reaction works. Because we get perfect aim, and then no human limits for the reaction, and then the turning, and then the firing. Perfect hearing. This is like part of a big one, which is so a lot of the information in this game comes from sounds. So say you hear someone's footsteps. If you have the perfect hearing trait here that I'm given, that would mean that you know exactly where they are and also what direction they're moving, things like that. Perfect ability tracking. So this is just like perfect knowledge. You know who's got what abilities when, based on the fact that if they have used it, you know the cooldown. If they haven't used it, you'd know because you would have heard the voice line. And that's all of them. So those are the conditions I've set. And if you take a look at those conditions, you'll realise that there is immediately going to be a predominant character. So what happens if you set a team of people with this level of gameplay against a normal team? What character is played? Well, that, of course, is Widowmaker, because she just insta-kills everyone. And I have based the tiers of my tier list around this observation. So my tiers are Meta, which is who I think are the best characters, Widowmaker, who's I've got the tier there just because I'm not sure. I haven't fully analysed all the characters yet. I'll make a judgment at the end of the stream, but I'm pretty sure Widowmaker. She's going to define the meta, but she doesn't have to be in the meta. She just prevents you playing characters worse than the meta. Could be meta is like realistically only one tank is going to be meta. But if there's another tank that does a slightly different job, and then it turns out I was wrong about the meta tank, then that would be who's the meta. Provides utility as like a useful ability, but not enough to justify the character over other characters. Provides little utility, is a small beneficial ability. I'll talk about that. And then provides nothing. Which is, they're the worst characters. They do nothing better than other characters. So let's get into it. So the first character, obviously, I'm going to put is Widowmaker. And first thing we're doing is prevention against Widowmaker. So your first one is dive tanks. Now, what does Winston have? Winston has jump, so he's got good mobility. He's got primal, and he's got bubble. And the problem is, if he jumps on a team with perfect communication with bubble, I feel like it gets melted instantly, and he also gets melted instantly. So I think Winston is a terrible hero, and the only benefit is he gives a barrier. So based on that, I think I'm just going to do all tanks here. The utility you want from your tank is to shut down Widowmaker, right? Punishing her doesn't really work, because you would die if you had to approach her. You could shoot her from range. Or, the one I've decided is the best option, is placing a barrier in front of her. So, with perfect communication, people can 100% of the time stay behind Reinhardt's shield for a rotation around a Widowmaker. And that's why I think Reinhardt's the best tank. I'm going to skip through a few of them. So Doomfist, I'm going with provides nothing. Queen. So Queen could be useful with the displacement with Knife. However, Knife is a projectile. As a result, people can react to it being thrown. Things like Widowmaker's bullets are hit scan. They will insta-kill you as soon as it's fired. Things that seem like they could be useful, like Queen's abilities, are too slow, therefore provides nothing. Malga, huge hitbox, huge. I mean, I suppose that doesn't really matter, but the point is, if everyone shoots him, he dies. Actually, I'll go provides a little utility. So, Malga's E can give people damage resistance. I think. I'm not sure if it still does. It did. Ball. He gives teammate shields. Is that useful? I do not think so. I think Ball dies instantly, as long as everyone shoots him. Now, there is a thing with Ball. Maybe Kabum provides low utility. He doesn't know, no. So, Ball could have movement bugs that let him. Like, he does have movement bugs, but there could be some that haven't been discovered yet that let him shoot across the map like 10 times as fast as his current max speed. And then he could probably be useful. However, in this circumstance, I don't know that, so I'm putting him here. I'll go to the DPS a bit now. So we'll look at people like Soldier. Immediately provides nothing. He's got sights which do nothing for him. He's got sprint which let him move slightly faster. The problem is, even if he moves slightly faster without a Rhine shield, he's going to be dead to Widow. Now that I have to find Rhine and Widow, actually, there is something that could happen, which is you have two Widows, two teams behind two Rhine shields. And if you have that, you have a stalemate in this sort of situation. And as a result, what you actually need to be doing is pushing cat. So, getting kills is actually a lot less important of an objective here, because it shouldn't be possible to get kills. I feel like most fights should be lost with 0 deaths. Maybe even all fights. As well as that, necessarily Rhines pushing into each other, that would normally be what would be expected as you walk into the enemy team. But there doesn't seem to be much benefit to that, because in this situation of perfect Overwatch, everyone hits all their shots. You're just closer, but the enemy team is also just closer. Uh, so Sombra is an interesting character. Let's say there's a useful ability you want to shut down. You could hack them. That seems good. However, if you're going to be hacking someone, the Widow's going to know where you are, so you're going to die. But you could position in a way the Widow can see you when you're hacking the other person. That seems like a logical example. However, if the other people are also playing Perfect Overwatch, they'd make sure you didn't have enough time to hack them while they were they'd make sure not to stand in a position where you could hack them where the Widow couldn't see you, because they'd know what you were trying to do if you played Sombra, and as a result, I think Sombra is useless. I'm going to go to another part immediately now, which is I think another meta character is Symmetra. Now, the benefit of this character is it gives everyone instant movement anywhere you want. There is kind of a caveat to that, which is I don't exactly know how Overwatch works. I'm gonna get a little graphic up just to show it. So, we have our Widowmaker here with the gun. We have our Reinhardt here. And he's got a shield. And we have our Symmetra here. My art is very beautiful, thank you, Jack. Symmetra places a teleporter. Like this. Now, say Reinhardt also stands on the teleporter. Widowmaker fires the bullet. Now, if Reinhardt and two events in games can't happen at the exact same time. That's not how games work. It's got to go through a list of events in an order. Now, I don't know how this order works for Overwatch, but for example, in Minecraft, if you have a piston retracting a block and pushing a new block into the same space, this can pull and push in the same game tick. And that's the crux of zero ticking, which is a mechanic in Minecraft. So the equivalent mechanic in Overwatch would be if the same three things happen at the same time, Reinhardt teleports, Widowmaker shoots, and Symmetra teleports. If the game order works in the same way, Reinhardt could teleport, Widowmaker could shoot, there's no barrier there, and then Symmetra would teleport after, however she's already been shot. Now, if this could happen, which theoretically could, because that's how games work, but I don't know specifically how Overwatch works, then that would be a huge nerf to Widowmaker in this scenario. So that is a caveat to this. I'm not really sure how that works. So yeah, I'm putting Widowmaker in meta. This could change. Well, I mean, I'm not gonna figure out today how the game works, but that could be wrong. Who else we got? Reaper. He's got invincibility. Apart from that, he dies instantly. Let's go with nothing. Farah, she fires projectiles. Therefore, all of them can be dodged because they're a projectile, not an insta-kill. Genji has a deflect. However, because Widowmaker's bullet isn't a projectile, you can't react to it. The only way you could use a deflect is for a 4-second personal shield when making a rotation. Also, his bullets are projectiles, so they could be dodged. They couldn't necessarily be dodged if you managed to get close up enough to hit someone from like no range, but Genji does have a one-shot, which Perfect Overwatch would allow, because it's a difficult one-shot to do in real life, but the dash, secondary, melee, all headshots, there's one shot. So I'm going to put Genji here, actually, because he's a theoretically useful character. You just have to use his abilities in unexpected ways. And let's go with Ashe. Ashe is just a weaker Widowmaker, as far as I can tell. Bob does nothing. Also, he should die pretty quickly. Even if he doesn't, you can rotate around him. The rotations in this game would be phenomenal. He can stall cart for like a second or two. I don't know, that doesn't seem like it does anything to me. Again, with here, because it is still, without Widowmaker, Ashe would be a pretty useful character. Hanzo's got a one-shot, but it's a projectile. So you know where his projectiles are. I think they make a sound. Even though it's like not recognizable to humans, ignoring that limitation, you're not going to get one shot by Hanzo. He gives information to his team with Sonar Arrow. So the thing with Sonar Arrow is normally you use it to see where people are, but what you can also do is use it to see where people aren't. So you know they're not taking certain routes. It's utility. Move on to supports a bit. So Zen gives Discord Orb, which is his utility. He also gives Transcendence. I don't think that's particularly useful, as no one's going to be dying if they're not dying instantly. Realistically. However, he does give the little bit of utility, which is Discord Orb. Say the game took a different meta and it wasn't all about one-shots, and Perfect Overwatch was about landing projectiles that just were impossible to dodge, based on like arcs and covering the correct ground. Characters in this tier and above could theoretically be meta, but I still doubt that characters in the tier below would be meta. And that's the general difference between provides nothing and actually provides something at least. Next we have Mercy. I think Mercy is a very strong character because she has a reverse one shot. She can let someone on her team die to a Widowmaker for a reason. I'm not sure what that reason would be, but if they wanted to, I don't know. She could res them at least. If you look at supports, they're going to provide very little utility is the main thing. There's people that seem like they could be useful, like Lifeweaver, who could pull people to his position when he's already positioned well, or Lucio, who could speed people around. But all this is kind of negated by Symmetra. So if you have a Symmetra, you don't actually need any of that. Moira is nothing. Moira's got nothing in this mode. Just a useless character. Kiriko has an invincibility. However, you can't react to shots with it. Hit scan with it, obviously. So yeah, it's not too useful. Again, though, in a different, if the game doesn't work how I think it will, then Kiriko's invincibility could be useful. Apart from that, Kasuna gives speed, it gives attack speed. I still don't think it's too much, but it's something at least. Uh, Iliari has, I didn't mention this actually, but characters with deployables can use them to block shots. Like if you look at Widowmaker, not Widowmaker, Symmetra montages, you see them blocking shots with turrets. You can't block a Widowmaker shot with reaction. However, you can fire a Symmetra turret at a Widowmaker to serve as a shield for like a secondish maybe. Depends how long it takes the Widowmaker to rotate, but you can rotate in the opposite direction as her. And it could block a shot or yeah, that's it. So yeah, so yeah, so Symmetra has that benefit, and then so does people like Iliari and Torbjorn. So characters with these deployables, I think, are never actually going to be in the nothing tier, except Bull. Bull's got them, but uh, yeah, that's just not happening. It's just on its ult. It's too much of a, and it's really easy to just destroy them all instantly. So Iliari's in that little utility section. Torbjorn also in little utility. He's got Molten Core, but if you know the hitboxes as well perfectly, I think you can probably just walk pretty close to it without actually getting damaged. And then also you're teleporting around, you just tank a little bit of damage because you're not going to be taking too much damage. Oh, I should go to the other support that I think is really strong, which is BAP. So BAP, BAP gives you the invincibility the Kiriko does, but you you can use it preemptively and it lasts a longer time. If a Widowmaker, it peaks another Widowmaker in Lamp, then the Widowmaker in Lamp's gonna win. What else is there? Alright, I think we got rid of a lot of the terrible characters. So we'll go for a few more. Brigitte, I'm gonna put in the could be meta tier because Brigitte provides the Reinhardt shield again. It's got less health, but it doesn't come at the cost of sacrificing your tank. So people can still hide behind Brigitte's shield because they're playing perfectly. It would be difficult for real people to do that, but they don't need to consider that. So Brigitte is just another Rein, a bit less health, but you don't have to sacrifice your tank. Also, the ult gives the good shield. It gives the armor, which can change some one-shots. I haven't done too much research into how different characters can change breakpoints. So I'm not going to be talking about that too much. I like how I think Bastion with Brigitte could survive a Widowmaker shot. I don't think it changes too much because the tankier characters, normally what they provide in Overwatch is they're tankier, therefore their abilities are slightly weaker. Like we're looking at people like Bastion, Torbjorn, Reaper. Mei's a strange one. But yeah, I'm gonna put Bastion in the bottom tier. Bastion's just because the thing is he's got is Bastion's predetermined. Alright. Okay, I can't see any information on this. I'm gonna go with the spread is random, and therefore can't be predicted. If you could predict the spread, I think Bastion does a lot of DPS. But you can't headshot. And everyone else would be headshotting. Yeah, I'm gonna put in the bottom tier. That is subject to change, I guess. I might bring up the same topic over coming streams. If I change my mind or anything. Let's have a think. There's some difficult ones, so I'm gonna get rid of the easier ones first. Sojourn has... Sojourn can one-shot Widowmaker, I think. Can she? I'm not entirely sure. I'm gonna say Sojourn can one-shot Widowmaker. But Widowmaker would always be behind a shield or invincibility. Widowmaker can one-shot Widowmaker. I think Sojourn provides nothing. So I spoke about Genji earlier, how he seems bad, but if he uses his abilities in weird ways, he's not terrible. And now, I'm going to talk about Ana. So Ana has Nano Boost. Anti-heal's useless. Sleep you theoretically shouldn't be landing. Sleep is like, as in this game mode, sleep would be a zoning tool, like Hanzo's Dragons are in normal games. You sleep down a line where shield isn't, and then they can't stand there for a few seconds. If they could stand there, what would happen is, if they did stand there and got hit by it, what would happen is, I'm assuming the team that didn't get slept would TP onto them directly. And then the team with the slept person would lose the fight because they're down a person, and in perfect accuracy, you lose the fight if you're down a person. As a result of that, the team down a person would probably just TP out immediately as soon as someone got slept. There are some interesting fights, like say you sleep a Symmetra, you TP in. What you have is you have two Rhines and two Widows who all they're trying to do is block the other Widow. Because they can't take their shield down to swing at the Widow. Because then the Widow would kill someone instantly. And the Widow is just trying to rotate around the Rhine shield. So you get interesting fights like this. We have two Rhines and two Widows just kind of jumping around but not actually shooting at all ever. Where the Widowmaker tries to line up the shot on the slept Symmetra, and the other Widowmaker tries to kill anyone. My next probably A tier character, but I don't think is meta, is going to be D.Va. So D.Va, first thing is any projectiles characters are immediately shut down by D.Va because she can eat things. So I think D.Va is pretty good at that. And then also, D.Va can pretty much make someone invincible for 4 seconds on a pretty short cooldown by matrixing them. I think Matrix has a really big hitbox as well, so I'm pretty sure it's like a full shield. D.Va can also protect her headshot hitbox by looking the other way. So normally tanks can do that, and it makes the headshot hitbox harder to hit, but D.Va can completely do it because it's entirely on her front. And then with comps like this, I don't think you'd be able to kill the D.Va with the BAP, or realistically, you could even just be healing the D.Va with Mercy. Oh, I didn't go too much into Ana actually. Okay, Ana, so it gives Nano Boost, which provides mitigation. Uh, Therefore, a Nano Blade might actually just be able to kill a few people. And the thing is, if Nano Blade can kill a few people, then on the threat of Nano Blade, the defensive team would just have to TP out based on the threat of Nano Blade, which means you don't actually have to commit to Nano Blade. Which means if you had Nano Blade, what would happen is the defensive team would just try and down cut to Nano Blade. So I think realistically, Nano something is the only thing that could actually kill things in this game. Is what I'm saying. Because Nano Blade, say you have a TP to support it, you have a dash, you have 4 second, I don't know how long it is, 2 seconds of invincibility with deflect, and then you have mitigation, which means you're not going to get one shot. You have a dash reset on kill, and I think you two shot people, like dash two swings kills, and it hits through barriers. That is an insane character. Things hitting through barriers is what makes something really useful. Now that I'm considering that, some of the things I said earlier aren't quite true. Like Winston could theoretically Nano Primal. I don't know. I'm gonna put him here actually. Nano Primal can kill people in this. Primal itself probably takes too much damage, but Nano Primal, he's got the meh, he's got the more damage. He doesn't provide his team the shield. He does, but it's not constant. So I'm putting him. I think this is actually stronger Winston than I thought. Nano Doomfist has little health. Because Nano Primal has 1,000 health. Nano Doomfist has 400 or something. You never shoot his block because that's just you just wouldn't. So he'd never get empowered punch except when he ults. I'm pretty sure his ult is just possible to avoid, especially with some TP actually. I don't think it's possible for Doom to force a kill with ult. Yeah, Doom's still too easy to pressure out. Queen wouldn't be getting close enough. Queen doesn't provide enough utility to her team to get close enough to get Nano worth anything. I don't think Nano. Wait a second. Bull does have like that tech where he hits people multiple times in the same dash though, doesn't he? Maybe if he's Nano that kills. Hmm. Bull has a displacement factor, and he could theoretically get a kill with Nano. I'm gonna put him there. What else are we looking at? Orisa can prevent headshots. She's got a similar to D.Va thing. What's it called? An eat. Spear's never gonna hit anything. Useless. Ramatra. He's got a block which prevents damage, but it's only where he's stood. If everyone stood behind him, there's no way it's a perfect like hitbox like Rain Shield is. I think this is a nothing. See, he's got a shield which stays up temporarily, and then he can go in other form and just hold block, and people can use his hitbox to block headshot hitboxes. So maybe in a little bit of utility. Hog has nothing. He dies instantly, I feel. There's no way you're gonna land a hook. It's too slow, it's too easy to predict, it's too close range. Um, Echo's difficult. Okay, I need to look something up again for this. Alright, we're going to be talking about a situation now. You have Widowmaker Echo on your team against just a Widowmaker. Your Echo duplicates their Widow. Now, the first caveat is I'm not sure if this is going to be possible. I think barriers block duplicate. I'm not entirely sure about that fact, but that could be a problem already. But say you do, you could force their Widowmaker into a situation where she's got two options. She either gives up space and like surrenders the fight, or the duplicated Widowmaker gets peeked. No, the Echo peeks enemy Widow, gets insta-killed, but only the copy gets insta-killed, obviously. And then in the time when the other Widowmaker is... by the time when the enemy Widowmaker's shot is recharging, the other Widowmaker peeks her and insta-kills her. So yeah, I gotta show you something first. This is how defender's advantage works in this game. So this is your Widowmaker on the point. On Gibraltar. She's on high ground. As a result, she is a long way away from a door. This is the entry door. This is you on Widowmaker going to peek her. You walk this direction. Do you see the Widowmaker first, or does the Widowmaker see you first? The answer is whoever's furthest from the door sees the enemy first. There is math on this. I don't want to do the math now. There's YouTube videos on it. Go find them if you care why. But this is the defender's advantage, is whoever's defending would win this peak war. However, if there's two Widowmakers, because one of them's duplicated, and you both peek at the same time, she can't kill both of you. So she either gives up space, or if it's mathematically better to do that, she just dies. Those are the two options. As a result, I think Echo is a could-be meta character. This is sort of an alternative strategy to Reinhardt. So we got Mei. Mei can give you access to different rotations that you couldn't before. Wall can block off sight lines. It can give you better TP spots. She has invincibility for 4 seconds. And her ult would be a zoning tool, because I don't think anyone wants to be frozen on the enemy team as far as I can tell. And so I think Mei provides utility. Venture has invincibility in the ground for 8 seconds, I think. Say you push the cart as far as you could without immediately dying for I don't know what reason, but say that's how it was. What the Venture could do is push it for 8 more seconds because they could go underground. Obviously, they'd die immediately after because, or they could only push it for like 5 more seconds and then get back. By the way, that's extra card progress, which is what you need in this mode. So there's definitely some utility for Venture already. And then you have the use of... I'm not sure if Venture's still got a one-shot combo. Either way, I'm also... Venture can tank a little bit with Shield's abilities. I think there's no way Venture doesn't die to one shot with Widowmaker, but maybe with a Brig ult. Brig ult with a full Venture shield maybe actually survives a Widowmaker headshot. Which means Widowmaker would get one shot by Venture. If you consider this, Widowmaker's actually got really useful movement abilities. Like Grapple it's got pretty long range. The momentum's not easy to control, but like there's a lot you can do with the control of the momentum. And then with perfect aim, there's very little people that do anything against that. Grapple seems like a pretty bad ability in general, but in this, it's really strong. Junkrat has shield damage. Shield pressure. Also, Junkrat's mines last a while. And they've got a pretty big hitbox. You could set up what I would call... like a minefield, right? Where... Say he knows how to bounce every single one of his mines properly if they land like in a square of 4, then he's completely disabled the enemy from accessing any of that area. They could tank a shot, obviously, but I think Junkrat with perfect utilization like this does some stuff. He can access angles that other people can't because he knows how to bounce his mines properly. I think Tyre very rarely does anything. Tyre makes a difference in the Widowmaker Rhyme 1v1s I was talking about. And the shield pressure's there. I'm gonna put Junkrat in could be meta. Stupid as it sounds. Just because the sheer amount of shield pressure provides even without LOS. These tiers aren't ordered, by the way. Because they're not really a tier list, they're just describing the characters. I'm gonna order them so I like their orders. As in, I'm gonna order them tanks, DPS supports, just because it looks better. Sigma has a shield and grasp. Shield has less health than Rain Shield. However, it does not need to be placed next to him. He does not really have any kill pressure. However, he's got shield pressure though. Actually, he may just be better than Ryan. The thing is, say the enemy Widowmaker rotates, he can't immediately turn his shield, which Ryan can do. But if the enemy Widowmaker rotates, then you're... I suppose if it's a TP with... No, there's the problem with... I might need to get the drawing out again. Same place on the map. You've got your Widowmaker down here. She's gonna... This is the attacking Widowmaker, right? Then you have the Widowmaker on the high ground, right? Say you've got a Sig Shield here. If you TP to this high ground, you kill her. Because you TP with Rain Shield. However, if this Widowmaker stands directly inside of Shield, she wouldn't die to it. But if she stands inside of Shield, I think parts of her might stick through, so she just gets killed anyway. And if she doesn't stand close enough to it, you could just TP behind her and kill her. So I think this is a slightly worse version of Rain Shield. Therefore, I think Sigma... He still could be meta. That's my analysis of Sigma versus Rain Shield. Rain doesn't really provide anything except the shield, but I think the shield he provides is so huge. Zarya is also an invincibility on a character for a little bit. However, it's only 200 health. If the enemy is running Symmetra Widow, however, they can't kill 200 health too easily. Like, it's 2 Widowmaker shots. I think Widowmaker shot does 190 something. I know there's less than that actually. Yeah, so it's 2 Widowmaker shots. So I think, you know, we have another shield again. Zarya, apart from that, provides nothing else really. Are also probably the best of Ryan, Sig, and Zarya. It's like the best zoning tool. I think if you fire at someone, no, they can just TP out immediately. It is more of a threat though, because if they use TP to reposition, you could just throw the ult at them. You're not really going to gain anything from it though. Grav makes projectiles useful, and you do have a Junkrat in consideration there, so I think Zarya might also be in this too. Cassidy has High Noon, which can deal insane shield damage. He also got slightly faster recently while using High Noon. Apart from that, I think he does nothing. I think he provides little utility. Realistically, you're never going to be getting Castle. Relying too much on it is a problem. Tracer has blinks. If you triple blink at a Widowmaker and then shoot her, you do just die. First thing is, I don't think you can use 2 blinks in one tick, which is already a problem. Therefore, I think Tracer might be in the provides nothing tier. No, I need to make sure I need to get my orders right. Lucio provides speed. What do you gain from speed? You can escape a fight if you would have a reason to. Like a 4v5. And you can chase a fight if you have a reason to, also like a 4v5. Also, if your comps weren't mirrored. I think comps will be mirrored no matter what in this. If we're allowing counter swapping, well, I mean, counter swapping is allowed. If we want to consider counter swapping, there needs to be this huge, like, I need to consider every comp that could be made. And even then, it wouldn't produce the right result. Because as soon as you get one aspect of it wrong, it all breaks. I might try and do that a different time, I suppose, is see what I think would happen if people counter swapped things and it wasn't just a mirrored comp. But apart from situations like that, because you're never going to go up or down a character, realistically. Like I spoke about the Echo example, you copy a Widow. The enemy Widow's just not going to take that fight and give up space. Unless there is a reason to give up space. Unless there's a reason to die. But if there's a reason to die, then you don't need the Lucio anyway, because your team, the enemy team, will either die or not die, regardless. I didn't explain that bit very well. The Widow deciding to die or not to die is a decision that is impacted by whether or not you have a Lucio, right? Therefore, having a Lucio, the Widow will just pick the least optimal option for you having a Lucio and commit an entire character just to change the outcome of a few specific decisions that don't actually win you fights. All they do is make the enemy rotate slower. Is a bit of a waste for character. There is Beat, which lets you survive at Widow shots. All it really does is get out of the TP though. Unless you have high mobility characters. You could say say Junkrat breaks range shield early. Like does a lot of damage to it early. You could beat and then jump in. And then kill range shield and also the Widow. But because of that, the Rhyme would play around the fact that he knows you have beat and could do that. Because we're playing perfect Overwatch, yeah. So the thing is, beat is useful, but the enemy will play around the fact they know you have beat. Because they'd also track your ults perfectly, because they'd know how much damage you did before and after and stuff, and how much healing. It definitely provides utility, but it seems like something you would track in perfect Overwatch. Something that you would outplay. Life Weaver has pretty much nothing. He's got his ultimate, which gives him extra cover. He's also got shield pressure. I think he's probably got the best shield pressure out of these supports. I'm gonna say he provides little utility for the shield pressure, to be honest. So you don't want to use Junkrat as a shield buster, because you want a different DPS, and say you don't need either the Mercy or the BAP. I think Lifeweaver's a solid choice. I don't think he's better than the Ana, as long as you. I mean, the Ana is based around combining with specific heroes. Lastly, we have Juno, so we've got the damage boost on ult. I don't think that does too much. It changes shield break speed in the mirror, but based on how much counters we've already got for. That's not what I mean. The game is built around worrying about shield break speed, so if you played Juno, you'd play a hero that mattered least with that was slightly worse than Reinhardt. And therefore the Juno pick would be so bad, would be more of a negative than the D.Va pick instead of Reinhardt. And you'd have to, after you swap to Juno, it wouldn't be you'd win a fight because you have a slightly advantageous situation because you'd have to build ult first. And during that time, they could swap the Rein to D.Va or something like that. This would cost them time, but this is again in the very specific situation you're running like Junkrat or something. To be honest, what I'm figuring out today is that counter swapping is actually a factor. Like the Junkrat Lucio is probably a good thing against Widowmaker. Whereas, and the Juno to build ult to swap the Rein to go to to force the Rein to go to D.Va. I'm not sure it forces, to be honest, but in a mirror matchup it's better than the BAP. Yeah, I'm gonna say it is. So, so there is definitely utility in the ult. I think it's a better ult. The thing is, the healing's actually negligible in this game mode because people will just be dying. Anyway, there's speed as well. Movability sucks because as soon as you peek outside a thing, you die. Double jump's slightly nice, I guess. I'm gonna go and provides little utility at best. It could be nothing. Yeah. So this is what I think. I think this is a game dominated by Rein Sim, Widow, Mercy Bap. You also have variations which include Sigil Zarya instead of Rein. You have D.Va, which is good against other characters. It's not particularly the one you want to pick into the meta comp, but its slight other variations, it's a slightly better tank. You have weird combos like Nano with Primal or Blade. You have weird combos like Beat Junkrat. A lot of these all rely on TP, which I think solidifies the fact that TP is huge. Because you can react to it, but you don't have enough time to reposition based on the angles the enemy's going to be taking. Brigitta's not a bad pick. It's another Reinhardt, realistically. Most of the DPS are terrible. Tanks that don't have a shield are terrible. Healing's not really important. I think those are our main things from this. Yeah, I might bring this topic up again if I figure some other stuff out. Apart from that, thanks for watching.